Well, what does that mean? What's it all mean? Believe in your dreams. Well, what does that mean? What does that mean?
Hey everyone, it's Call Me Adam and your dream interpreter, Jefferson Harman. Hi Jefferson.
Hi Adam.
How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Good.
Good.
And we are here at StarDreamsCafe.com inside the historic Algonquin Hotel in New York City's Theater District. And today, we are dreaming with Blake Pfeil. Hi Blake.
Hi.
You released your debut album, Wallpaper.
Yeah.
Which I have been listening to, I will say,
Good.
nonstop.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
Wallpaper was an amazing journey that I had last year. It was my first record. I raised all this money. And it was a fantastic experience. I got to tell a really personal story with the record.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
I have to say, okay, so I wrote down a few songs. I mean, it's pretty much a sad album.
It is a sad girl album.
I didn't cry, but I felt your pain.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Empathy is so appreciated.
So depressing, but yet all about the breakup and covering up the memories and the hurt.
I wrote the song. It's not actually about a person at all. It was about giving up sort of a naughty habit that I had.
And what habit was that?
I'm a raging alcoholic.
Oh, okay.
So I gave up booze, I guess it's like 2 years and 2 months ago now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm super transparent about it. I'm not annoying about it, but if I'm very open about it. And so the whole album is about kind of the journey to letting that horrible, nasty little devil go. Yeah.
Well, that takes a whole different meaning because...
No, but the thing is people take Wallpaper for themselves and think it's about a relationship, and they're not wrong. It is.
It's just not a relationship with a person.
No, the song was completely, like I wrote that song the day I woke up after my last drink, and it was about letting stuff go. So you're not wrong at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
What drove you to drink so much?
Oh God. I mean, have you been to New York City ever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I have.
You know, I think it's a combo of things. I'm a firm believer in the DNA aspect of it. I mean, the first drink I picked up, I was 14 years old, and I knew at that point, I was like, oh, this is something that I love. I didn't know that it was this horrible thing.
You had one morning where you woke up and you were like, I'm not drinking anymore.
Yeah.
And my question was, did you just happen to wake up that morning and be like, I'm done drinking, or did something happen that night before or recent up to that night that you consciously went to bed that night saying, when I wake up tomorrow morning, I will not be drinking anymore?
Gotcha. Well, I didn't consciously go to bed that night. It was sort of...
you passed out.
I passed right out. I wound up in the hospital, and then my friends got me back home after the hospital visit when I came to, I don't remember it. And I woke up the next morning, and my roommate at the time, who was a very close friend of mine, she came into my bedroom and she very calmly sat down on my bed and she said, so, are you done? And I said, yeah, I'm done.
Well, we're gonna switch gears because
Great.
I don't want the whole interview to be about
sad, depressing things.
Depressing
Why?
things.
Why ever not?
But it's not sad because you conquered your demon.
Yeah.
So it's actually quite inspirational.
Thank you.
Maybe somebody watching will be inspired themselves to.
Oh, I hope so. I hope so.
Stop whatever demon they have.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're gonna loop back to music.
Okay, great. Joni Mitchell had this concert. It was on the BBC in 1970. What I want to try and do is I want to try and take that concert. Every song that appeared in that concert, I want to write a response to each song. Because it's literally the perfect singer-songwriter evening, and it's some of her best work. And they said, great, you have 2 months. And I said, no problem. And then I said, oh, after I hung up, I was like, oh shit, I have this daunting task. So I worked vigorously as much as I could to try and write these reactions to these beautiful, I mean, we're talking our hits like Chelsea Morning, Cactus Tree, Big Yellow Taxi. I was biting off quite a bit more than I absolutely could chew. But we did it.
Since we are doing a show of dreams, we're gonna wrap our interview up so Jefferson can come out and interpret your dreams.
Awesome.
Be sure to catch Blake File's tribute to Joni Mitchell, the BBC 1970, on Sunday, November 20th, 2016, at 7 p.m., Stage 3, Rockwood Music Hall, New York City. Tickets available at ticketfly.com. You can also follow Blake at blakefile.com and on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you would like to donate to support Blake's father's medical costs, visit gofundme.com/JohnFileSeason. For more episodes of Dreaming With, visit stardreamscafe.com. For more of Adam's interviews, visit callmeadam.com. For more of Jefferson's dream interpretations, radio show appearances, and podcast episodes, visit everydaysymbology.com. Planning a visit to New York? First visit algonquinhotel.com.
In Western society, we see psychics as people who predict the future, who tell us, you know, we're going to have a romance and a home and a good job and live happily ever after, and we're looking for what's the next thing to expect, and if someone gets ill, will they be better, all of that. What I do is I look at present moment information. It's much more based on what's going on with your energy now and how the dream or dreams is relating that to you. So it's basically your higher self speaking to your earthbound self. So with that, let's do one.
Yeah,
just give me a dream.
So this one happened two nights ago.
Okay.
I had this dream that Carole King had died. And somehow, and this is the thing, I wish I could remember this part of it, I had access to her house, but her house was a house but an apartment. So it was an apartment building, right?
Okay.
But there was a literal house
In the apartment
included
building.
in the apartment building, and it was Carole King's house. And for some reason, I had access to her house, and there was a great big party that had gone on. And when I was in her house, and there had been a great big party, and I was aware of the fact that Carole King's ghost was in the room with me. Okay? And I was scared of it. And so I wandered throughout her house looking for things. And it wasn't anything specific that I can recall, but I would find, like, there was a moment in the dream where I found one of her notebooks. And also, I forgot to mention this, during this time, people were coming in and out of the house, people who I know.
Okay.
So, like, I've been kind of going on dates with this one guy, and he was there, my mom was there, my dad was there, my sister, like, a bunch of people would kind of come in and out as I was looking for these things in Carole King's house, said house. And every time I would get to a new object, so this wasn't in the dream, but I would come to a saucer and I would pick it up and I would feel that she was there.
That Carole was there.
Carole King was there.
Okay.
And there was somebody there who I couldn't see, but I was talking to the entire time, who was telling me every time I would go to a different object, oh, Carole is here now. And Carole wants you to know about this object and what it is.
So this person, you couldn't see them.
Who I couldn't
and they're
see
telling
them.
you where Carole is.
Who I also
How did
could
you know
not
where they
see.
were?
I could hear them.
Okay, so you found them by their voice.
By the voice.
But she couldn't speak to you.
She could not speak to me, but I knew she was there. And when I woke up out of the dream, I was very chilled. You know that?
Like physically cold?
Like, you know those pricklers on the back of your
Yes.
neck?
Uh-huh.
It was almost I would almost say it was a nightmare, because it was very scary, and I woke up very on edge and uneasy.
Okay.
Oh, totally.
Okay. So tell me, other than the dream,
Yeah.
what was going on a couple days ago with you personally?
Let's just get into it. So my dad was diagnosed with a very rare form of lung cancer called mesothelioma. And that has been like the preeminent
Yeah.
factor in my life. He's living with my sister. She's pregnant, and husband's basically not in the picture. So a lot of family stuff, but at the same time with all this family stuff that's been going on, I also have started to really come into my own work. Like I found this new service that matches artists with clients who need music work done for them. And I've been getting all this work, and like pretty much for the first time since I moved to New York City, I'm writing music for people and legitimately getting paid for it.
Okay, which, by the way, that's your first connection to Carole King, because that's how she started. Oh. The Brill Building. This was a woman who wrote for a living from the time she was a teenager.
Oh, that's right.
Okay, so, and the Brill Building itself had all these little compartments in it, and you're talking about an apartment building. Each of those compartments had a piano in it, or, you know, offices, whatever they were, had a piano in it, and, you know, in one room would be Neil Sedaka and Howard Greenfield, and another room would be Barry Mann and Cynthia Weil, and another room would be Carole King and Jerry Goffin. And so you picturing her in this, what you picture as an apartment building, which, by the way, Carole King now, the Carole King that I know wouldn't be living in a building like that, because she's more somebody who'd be living in like Idaho in the middle of, you know, a natural setting, and she'd be as far away from the city as possible. But what you're picturing is that her house was contained in this. And so what I'm seeing is that your house is contained in this. But before I get into that, what is your relationship with Carole King?
She was part of the trifecta growing up, is what I called them, my mom's trifecta. So it was...
What does that mean, your mom's trifecta?
She had these 3 albums on repeat in college, and growing up they were on repeat in my house. It was Tapestry, Wildflowers by Judy Collins, and Court and Spark by Joni Mitchell. Those 3 albums were in rotation.
Great albums.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
At all times in our house.
Okay.
So Carole King exists in that vein, because she's a huge part of my childhood.
Okay, so one of the other connections here is your mom and Carole King. Because keep in mind, in the building at the party, here were all these other people that you knew. Was your father one of those people?
Well, see, but this is the thing. So the party had happened, and it was a fact in my dream head that I knew. But there was no more party. People just kept coming in and out of this, like, the only way I can describe it is a scavenger hunt, because I was called to go to these different objects.
Yes.
So the party had already happened. We weren't even part of the party. We were like, it was like the next morning.
But were they there with you, or were they kind of...
Not the party people.
No. The people that you knew.
But my people, yeah, they were in and out frequently.
Okay.
And most
What were they doing?
walking, not even talking.
Just kind of moving through the scene.
Literally just moving through the scene.
Okay.
Like there would, every once
What
in a
were
while.
the objects?
There was it was actually a lot of journals. There were lots of journals I would go. There was so many things. It was mostly journals. There might have been jewelry at one point. There was a clock at one point. I just remember the ones I remember the most. I remember the clock. I think I remember jewelry. But they were these like leather-bound journals, and they were all different shapes and size, all over the map.
And what did you...
No, and there were photo albums too.
Ah, okay.
But the photo albums, it was like, it was like, forgot this, half Carole King pictures.
Yes.
But then like her personal photos, and then like half my family.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like family.
Do you see the connection here?
I mean, now you're saying it. I'm starting
first
to,
off, you're putting a house inside a building
yeah.
that you've compartmentalized. The apartment building mirrors basically her origin story in terms of writing. You have all these journals, which could be containing, you know, the works that she did. You have, and they're leather bound. In other words, that you're seeing this as this kind of a sacred space. You have jewels, you have the leather bound notebooks. What was the other thing? Oh, the clock. Describe the clock.
It was
a modern,
it was
old?
like yay high. No, older. It was like yay high.
Like a tabletop clock?
Like a tabletop, yeah, like a mantle clock.
Okay.
Very much, but not flat like a mantle clock. It was very square.
Very square.
And it had I remember it had 4 golden legs on it. There, you know those bathtubs that had the feet?
Yes.
It was like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But pretty basic.
How many brothers and sisters do you have?
Older brother, younger sister. Two.
So there's
siblings.
3 of you, your
3 of
mom,
us, and my dad.
and your dad. Was your dad in the dream?
He was, but again, I think he was one of the ones that kind of just came in and came out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was he healthy?
To my knowledge, he was healthy, but
Okay.
I don't recall, to be honest with you.
How far along is your dad now? I mean, is this something that's imminent, or?
Yeah, I mean, he was given 4 months, so he's
When did you find that out?
a week and a half ago.
Okay, so that's part of it. There's a part of you that's expecting death, and there's a part of you that's also working your craft and is coming into your own because now you're writing for other people, doing exactly the kind of thing that Carole King was doing, which was, I need a song. Okay, here, I'll write you one. It's the same principle. And so you're finding yourself, whether you knew this about her or not, in the same kind of position where professionally you're being hired to write for other artists or for other people who need music.
Yeah.
Same as if she were writing, you know, a commercial or a song for another, you know, for the Monkees or you know, whoever. So you're relating yourself to her in your creative self. You're looking at what you have available to you, and you're in awe of her. That's where the fear is coming from. So when you wake up and you feel the chill, I don't think it's so much that you think that she's going to die. I don't think it's predicting her death. I think what it's doing is it's saying that for you to access the legacy of somebody as big as Carole King is a daunting task. And so your natural feeling is that you're like, how am I going to live up to that? When in reality, you already are, without realizing. And so while you're in this place that should be unfamiliar to you, because it's Carole King's house, it's not yours, here's all these people that you know walking through it as if it's home.
Yeah.
As if they live there, as if they're perfectly comfortable there.
Yeah, that's exactly how it felt.
So exactly. So while you're feeling like, oh my God, why am I looking for all of Carole King's stuff? Should I be doing this? You're also being guided to do it. In other words, that voice, that disembodied voice, is on some level you saying, look for this. In other words, you're being instructed to look at the works of Carole King the same way you've looked at the works of Joni Mitchell in order to facilitate the work that you're doing now. If not the songs themselves, the technique and the process by which she worked, because there's something for you to learn in that. And so if you see the leather-bound things as journals, if you were to look through her life and say, okay, when she wrote, how did she do it?
Yeah.
There's something for you to learn there. Your subconscious is saying to you, this is a teacher. And so your natural reaction, because you don't really know who this is or how they're going to react to you or are they going to be helpful, is you're a bit afraid of that at first, because she's an unknown entity. At the same time, there's this huge familiarity because you heard Tapestry over and over again when you were a child. The same way you heard Court and Spark. And look what you did with Joni Mitchell. So it's inviting you to do the same thing. It's inviting you not necessarily to write a tribute to Carole King, but to incorporate how Carole King worked, her work ethic, into your work ethic. It's inviting you to make yourself at home with how she created, if you will, the jewels that she created. And the clock on the mantle, I think, is indicative of a few things. For one thing, time is running out for your dad. For another thing, there's clear support in that because there are 4 pillars holding it up, the 4 golden legs holding it up. which is you, your mom, your sister, and your dad, right? Or did you say your brother?
And my
And your
brother.
brother, right? So it's the four members of your family supporting your dad, who you see as having time, limited time. So this dream is on one level there to comfort you that you're doing the right thing, but here's an area that you need to explore. There's a treasure hunt waiting for you that you can do that's going to help you to make the craft that you're doing better. That Carole King and how she did this is going to be a teacher for you in how to improve your craft as a songwriter and as a musician. And that in doing so, you will feel more comfortable in that space than whatever space you've carved out for yourself now. That however you're approaching it now is you're feeling that that's somehow not exactly where you want to be, but that this is where you will fit in best. And so you feel at home there. Even though it's someone else's home in your dream, what you're really saying is, I'll be most comfortable here. And so I'm going to go around and I'm going to find all the things I need in order to make that work. And look, everybody that I know is walking in and out of here, including the guy that you're seeing, that they're all very comfortable with coming and going as if it's your space. So it's saying to you, make it your space. Yeah.
I don't really know what to say.
Does that resonate?
Hugely.
Because it makes no difference if I could talk for hours, but
Well,
the question is, does it connect with what you're feeling?
It's just strange because that's not strange. That's a terrible word choice. It's sort of it makes perfect sense because my dad specifically told me, he specifically told me when all this started to go down, I do not want you to put your life on hold. I want nothing more than for you to really keep going. Because I had offered to go to Buffalo and be with you.
Yeah.
And he said, you're doing a huge disservice to me if you do that. So I'm here, and then literally not days after this horrible, the worst thing that's ever happened to me in my life was announced, I start getting all this work, and I start to feel truly impassioned in a way I've never felt before. I mean, the drive that I have inside of me right now it's bananas. Like, how is it? Anyway, that's how it resonates with me. And it makes complete sense. I guess I just didn't know that my brain was protecting me that creatively. It's quite a little creative way to protect somebody.
There's a song by Carole King called Speeding Time that I think you need to listen to.
Probably. Probably.
And I would recommend that you listen to more of her obscure music. I mean, everybody knows the songs from Beautiful, but that woman has a catalog that spans decades, and I followed it. She's one of my three main inspirations. So again, when you said Carole King, my brain went, what? We were already talking about Joni Mitchell.
Yeah, it was a weird
She's somebody that I've listened to everything she's ever done that I could get my hands on, and I learned how to play piano mirroring her work.
Oh.
I taught myself to play piano, listening to Tapestry and emulating the chords that she played.
That first chord, it's a D9 chord
Yeah.
on So Far Away.
Yeah.
That first dum.
Yeah.
And I don't even know what kind of piano they used to record that, but man, that is like simple stroke of genius.
Well,
right
okay,
there.
but that's an interesting point that you said that, because that's exactly what I'm talking about. I don't know what kind of piano they used when they recorded it. It's exactly the kind of stuff that would be in that journal. That's the kind of exploration you want to do. How did she go about what she did? How did she craft her work?
Right.
Because that's where your work is heading.
Yeah, that's. Oh, and I'm all for that too.
Yeah.
I just hadn't thought about her as much.
Actually, you had, because you're the one who dreamt it.
Right.
Well, seriously, there's something in. Frankly, I'd go back and listen to Tapestry. There's something in that album that clicked with you enough
Oh yeah.
that brought this particular dream up to you. So, if nothing else, by osmosis, you knew enough about her to know that this was the person who would be guiding you on this journey.
Well, and the reason I brought up that chord just now is because I remember hearing it the first time and being like, whoa.
Yeah. What's one of the things I loved about her was the major ninths and, you know,
Bananas.
It's Too Late. The chords in that song just drive me crazy.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
of
you.
course. Thanks. It was a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot for me. Sorry. I
No,
did
that's
not mean
okay.
to-
Don't be sorry.
I told him.
That's the whole point.
Well, I told him earlier that like I can cry on command, but I was kidding.
He's our first crier. I mean, I don't mean it's a terrible thing.
No, I was kidding. I just like that was.
No, that was wonderful. That was really wonderful.
Really great. Thank you for that. I really appreciate it.
You're absolutely welcome.
I love that you have overcome so much. I mean, you've overcome your alcoholism. You are working through your dad's illness and coming out the other side, and you're growing your songwriting abilities and building your career in a way similar to one of the most legendary singer-songwriters of our time. And so that alone, for people watching, is amazing to see that you have overcome all of this stuff, and so maybe they can overcome that too. Well, here's to more dreams.
Yes.
Star Dreams Café.
Cheers.
Cheers.